Okay, what I want to do first in this lesson is kind of go through the retouch. We're going to use this image here and we're going to set the file up so it ends up looking similar to what we have over here. Everything's set up nice in folders and such, and I'd like to just run through a couple things on the setup. First of all, the workspace that I've set up here is pretty direct as far as what it's dealing with. So I have my histogram always in place, my swatches in color. I might actually change my color swatch, my color palette out, just bring that out here, and I might go under my window menu and get my info panel, because I find that the info panel is very helpful to have in play. I like to have my my histogram in plain view, but the info panel is very helpful to have here as well. So I've got the histogram swatches, swatches plus or minus can be helpful, but certainly the info palette and the histogram. Then down here my adjustments and the properties, more so than styles here. So we'll get rid of the styles. And down here I have channels, layers, and paths. And we're not really going to work with paths so much, but it's nice to have that in plain view. So I'll go up here and I will get a new workspace, and I'll call this retouching, and we'll save that. So now every time we come to this part, we've got everything that we want to see in plain view. Okay? So let's look at the file. So if I hold the Option key down, I can basically toggle on only the eyeball that I click on, and everything else will turn off. So you can toggle on certain parameters. So we'll go back to the very beginning, and this is where this image started. This was shot with a Mamiya 645 camera. So it's got plenty of range and plenty of bit depth. So here where we start, we looked at the skin, and you can see that it's fairly comprehensive as far as how many layers are involved in skin. We did some reduction and some removal of blemishes, and we adjusted the tip of our nose and the hot spot on our forehead, as you'll see here. Now, before I get too in depth with this is the first thing that we're going to cover. We're going to cover this image mapping. And what you do with the image map is you can color code this any way you see fit, but you basically just create a layer, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the image and we're going to circle and make little notations, either text notations, things that would write on the image to know what our plan of attack is going to be. So that's the first thing we do. And then when we move into getting some of this stuff taken care of, the reduction, and we'll turn all these off. So we have the remove layer and the reduce layer. So basically what I like to do is I like to put the things that I remove entirely as far as blemishes, and the ones that I want to reduce and bring back a little bit. We also are dealing with hot spots separately, and under the eyes and the bit of redness under nose we adjust separately here. Now here we've got basically two different kinds of skin softening. We've got a soft arc filter here with some noise. We've got actually three. We've got a inverted high pass filter as well, and what I refer to as the Tarantino method. So we've got three different methods which we're going to go through, and you can choose any combination of them or just one of them. So if we use the soft arc filter, that would be the softening, and we're going to build a texture on top. So here's where we put the texture back in. Now we're going to take a closer look at all these aspects when we go through the skin. Then we jump to the eyes. Now you can see what we've done with the eyes. Our model here has got a bit of a lazy left eye, so we'll get a little bit closer here. And you can see that we've changed a lot with the eyelashes, with the catch lights, with the whites of the eyes, with the brightness and the shaping of the eyes. Anything that has to do with the eyes we build in here and we put it all in a group. Let me back out a little bit so we can see what we're doing here with the hair. So now in the hair we're adding volume, shape, color, and finally the shaping. Here we're tucking in some bulges and some things that are maybe out of shape, and we're adding some contour to her face, and maybe a lot of times I straighten out the nose, put some final makeup and some final retouching in this group, and here we have the finals. We add a little bit of color correction as far as the skin goes, and we add some final retouches, things that we may have missed along the way that we discover that we want to make sure we address. So we're going to go through each one of these things one by one in detail, but I wanted to give you kind of a bird's eye view of the project, and let's just jump right in and start off with the image map.